Welcome to a demonstration video on the different kinds of properties and changes that we're going to talk about in Chapter 3 in Honors Chemistry. So I just have a few things in front of me here, and I don't know if we'll get a chance to do all of these in class, so I want to make sure that you have an opportunity to at least see them. We're going to talk about chemical and physical properties, intensive and extensive properties, and physical and chemical changes. This is an evaporating dish. I'm going to use that to catch what happens when I take this magnesium. This is magnesium. A physical property is one in which when you make a description or you take down the property, it doesn't change what the substance is. So magnesium, if you look at it, it's shiny. That means it has luster. So that's a physical property. I haven't changed this. It's still magnesium. It's silver in color. Color is a physical property. And it's very bendable. It's ductile and malleable. Ductile means that it can be drawn into long wires, and malleable means it can be pounded into sheets. So this magnesium, very flexible. These are all physical properties. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the magnesium ribbon. When I cut the magnesium ribbon, technically that's a physical change. I have changed this. It's not what it was before. It's still magnesium, but I have changed its form a little bit. I'm going to put the magnesium over here. Chemical properties or chemical changes are things that once you test them or you make the observation, you have changed what the substance is. This is magnesium. It's an element. It's a pure substance. What I'm going to do, these are crucible tongs. I'm going to take the crucible tongs and I'm going to check the magnesium ribbon for flammability. Flammability is a chemical property. If it is flammable, it's going to change. There will be a chemical reaction and it won't be the same substance. This is one of the ways that you can tell that a chemical change has happened. When a physical change happens, sometimes these things will occur, but not always. Light will be given off, sound can be given off, a drastic change in appearance, energy is given off or absorbed. You'll see a drastic temperature change. All of these are listed in the PowerPoint, and you'll see a lot of them today when there is a chemical change. So I'm testing the magnesium ribbon for flammability. Put it in the hottest part of my flame. And I wait patiently. Oh, come on. It's getting there. And there we go. So magnesium is flammable. It's still burning. It looks nothing like it did. A chemical change has occurred. There's a noxious fume being given off. The white powdery substance that's in my evaporating dish looks nothing like the silver, shiny, lustrous substance I started with. So flammability is a chemical property, and I can tell that a chemical change occurred. I have here some zinc. Zinc is an element. It's a pure substance. It's not as shiny, doesn't have as much luster as the magnesium ribbon does, but it's silver in color. It's still typically considered, it is considered a metal. I'm going to put these in a test tube. I'll put them in my test tube rack. And here I have some 6 molar hydrochloric acid. It's a fairly strong acid. And I'm going to put that into my test tube and I'm going to see if a reaction occurs. Remember, a reaction occurs if there's a large change in the substance appearance, if energy is given off. So if I feel heat, if I see a gas being given off, those are usually signs of a chemical change. At the same time, I'm going to take my second test tube and I'm going to put it on top of the first test tube and trap the gas that is forming from this, because I know what's going to happen. And then I'm going to also try to light the gas with a match when I'm done doing that. We'll see if I can do this just as one person. Very strong hydrochloric acid. You can see, I don't know if you can see or not, there are bubbles. See the bubbles forming? There's a gas given off. It's getting very warm. I didn't think this through with the match, but I'm going to try. I'm trapping as much gas you can still see. You see the bubbles forming? That's how you can tell it's a chemical change. So acid reactivity, that's a chemical property. It's getting very hot now. I'm going to set it back down. Trap some more gas. See if this works. That popping noise meant that there was another chemical reaction that occurred. I had trapped the gas in the tube. That gas was flammable as well. Chemical property. A pop, you heard a noise, that's energy expended. That means a chemical change has occurred. So, chemical properties, it's not the same anymore. Just like the magnesium ribbon wasn't the same. You can see in there, I think, if I get it closer. Gas is given off. Doesn't really look like that silver metal anymore. It appears to disappear. So that's a chemical property. Reactivity with acids, reactivity with bases, flammability, those are all chemical properties and a chemical change occurs. Physical properties are things like color and luster and malleability and ductility. Those are things that once you measure them, they don't change what the substance is. Even density. Intensive and extensive properties are other kinds of properties, and they have to do with the size or the amount. So when you have an intensive property, it doesn't matter how much you have, that property will be true. So things like color, the magnesium ribbon is silver whether I have a small piece of it or I have a whole roll of it. So intensive properties have nothing to do with the amount. Extensive properties, though, do have to do with the amount. So the mass of the magnesium is an extensive property. The small piece that I started out with would have less mass than the whole roll. So intensive and extensive, chemical and physical, those are the things that you'll be expected to understand.